Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan battle video, and today we are going to look at this Zarbon and Dodoria fully Easy-Aid and fully rainbowed and ready to go. So we just entered part 3 not too long ago, and we got a bunch of Easy-A's, so I'm going to go ahead and do showcases on all of them, right? So we're going to go ahead and take a look at Zarbon and Dodoria's passive, and then we'll look at the team build, and then we will check out the showcase. So their leader skill, they did get a Space Traveling Warriors free-to-play lead, 77%. I mean, between this guy, the Goku, and like all the Ginyu Force, there should be plenty of 77% free-to-play leads now. So it's just going to be easier and easier for new players to do like Prime Battle events. So I think that's really good that they've done that, right? Their super attack effect. Supreme damage and lowers attack and defense, nothing too crazy there. And then we'll look at the passive. So they get attack and defense 100%, plus an additional attack and defense 10% with each attack performed up to 70. So they have to do 7 attacks to build that up, and they don't have any built-in additionals. So it's going to be very, very tough to get that fully built. So only in like a long event, right? Plus they get an additional attack and defense 70% and seals the enemy's super attack if there's an ally whose name includes Frieza attacking in the same turn. Space Traveling Warrior allies category get 3 key and attack and defense 30%. And then attacks effective against all types if there's a Planet Namek Saga category enemy. So I feel like with this unit, they came really close, but they did a couple of things really wonky that I think people don't like. The first thing is that you have to have a Frieza on rotation with them for them to work. The problem is they don't link well with Frieza at all. So if there was like a Frieza they actually linked well with, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The other thing that's kind of weird about their kit is that they gain 10% attack and defense with every attack up to 70. The problem with it, one, they didn't give them any built-in additionals, so it's going to take a long time for that to build up. And number two, I feel like these guys are meant to be like a slot 3 support unit that's going to be floating around. And if they're floating around, you're not seeing them as often, so it's going to take them even longer to build it up, right? So we'll see. I mean, and then the other thing that's kind of wonky is they've been giving free-to-play supports 40% passives, and for some reason they held back and gave these guys 30%. Now, I haven't seen them in action yet, so maybe if we put them in their ideal situation, they'll hit really hard. I don't know. We'll take a look in this video and see. So I did give them max additionals because I want them to build up that passive as quickly as possible. I have not put any equips on yet, and my links are fairly low leveled, right? Alright, so here's my team build. It's going to be a fairly wonky team build, okay? The thing with the Dodoria and Zarbon, I feel like the optimal way to run them, if you're going to run them on an actual team, is you run a team like either Planet Namek Saga Sworn Enemies or like Terrifying Conquerors, and I think what you would do is you would run rotations where like Friezas are your main attackers on rotation, and then if the Dodoria and Zarbon are floating around, they're always going to be getting that Frieza passive as the 3rd slot supporter. That's really the way I think I would use this unit. I wouldn't use them as a main rotation unit. Now in the showcase, I'm going to showcase them as a main rotation unit, so my build's going to be a little bit wonky here. So I am running Cooler as the leader, which is a very good leader, right? So I'm going to run Dodoria and Zarbon, and it turns out their best linking partner is actually this guy, kind of an oddball. So this is Demon God Dabura. He is from the Dragon Ball Hero Celebration last year. I actually rainbowed him. So I've got this dude rainbow just chilling in my box. I never use him, so I guess I've got a reason to pull him out and use him. So I'm going to give him a shot here and see how he does in the video. So he's going to be the linking partner for Dodoria and Zarbon. Now the problem with that is if you're trying to set up Dodoria and Zarbon with a linking partner, you don't have Frieza on rotation. So what I've done is I've built the team with 3 different Frieza support units, so that I'm always going to have a Frieza floating around to support. So I'm going to have this Frieza floating as a 20% support, this Frieza floating as a 40% support, and then this Frieza is going to be floating, and he is a 25% support. So we have all different kinds of support, but at least I've got support floating, and it will be Frieza. And then, once again, why I love Cooler as a leader is I have the freedom to actually run 2 Coolers on rotation together, and then I'll just transform one and leave the other one non-transformed. So as wonky of a build as this is, it's actually quite an ideal build for what I'm trying to do here, right? So I've got Dodoria and Zarbon right away, so I'm going to link them up with the Frieza, and you'll see here we've only got 2 links active, so he doesn't link very well, but I want to get Cooler on the other rotation with the other Cooler. So we're going to do this. Dodoria and Zarbon here are at 110k defense. Remember, they have 70% on the table that they need to gain up over time, so we're going to try to keep track of how many attacks we do here. So we're going to at least get 1 attack here. We'll see how, if we get any additionals. Alright. So 1.7, I mean, that's not the worst, right? Like 1.7, considering I'm thinking of these guys as more of a support unit. To me, like 1.5 or higher is sufficient for like a support unit. It's not meant to be a damage dealer. So I do actually think by the time these guys build up, they're going to be looking pretty good. And I think we did just get a double super there, so that was good. So we've built up 2 attacks here. That's the thing though, like to get 7 attacks in, guys, like if you were really lucky and did double supers every turn, what you would need to have them for like, let's see, so you got to get 7 attacks off. So let's say you just got 1 super attack per turn, right? So for 7 turns, that means it's going to be like 14 to 15 turns of battle because you only see them every other turn, right? So yeah, with luck, you can kind of get that down a little bit more, but it's going to take you a while to fully build these guys up. So in a situation like this with the Legendary Goku event, we will try to do that. Alright, so we need Cooler on rotation, we need Dodoria off rotation, so we can get Dodoria back on the other rotation where we want them. And then we'll see what does here. So this is why like Dodoria and Zarbon's kit doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Is because they have this really slow like building like on rotation type passive. But as a support unit, I like them as like a slot 3. So I wish they would have built them more to be like a support type unit instead. Maybe instead of like when they attack, just give them like, maybe cut it in half and give them like 20% for each turn they show up. Or maybe make it so they get 10 or 20% every time they get hit. Or if you want to leave it attack, yeah, at least if you made it 20% a turn instead of 10, then you wouldn't have to stack as long. Just something to like make that not so, because I feel like you're never going to see them fully built, right? It's going to be very, very rare to see that. Alright, so this turn here, so we are getting double supported, but once again, the links aren't going to be good, right? So I've got 2 links with both of these. The 2 freezes themselves, they link up great together. But not with Dodoria and Zarbon. But we got type advantage. Now we're at 142k defense. So from what I'm seeing on the early numbers, I do think I'm actually going to like their numbers when they're fully built up. Once again, it's just the thing that you're just not going to see that very often, right? But if you like Dodoria and Zarbon, yeah, 2.2 mil, that's not bad at all. And this is our 3rd attack, I believe. We get another additional. Okay, we've been lucky with the additionals, but that one, wait, hold on. I gotta check their passive. If their passive doesn't need to be a super attack, that was attack number 4, hold up. We might be okay with normal attacks here. Let me double check their passive. Attack. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so we do have 4 attacks in, so it did not need to be super. So we're already at 4 out of 7, so we're stacking pretty quick actually. We're just getting lucky with that. With the coolers, I am going to transform I'll transform my cooler, why not? We'll transform my cooler, and then we'll just leave this cooler rotation to go to town. This cooler rotation, by the way, is nothing to laugh at. This is a crazy, like, you're going to see how quick this strength cooler is just going to obliterate this Goku. If you're in the right situation and you're fighting, like, the pure Hybrid Saiyan, like, this guy with guaranteed additional guaranteed crits is just insane. It's the whole reason why Super Vegeta is considered to be the best Dokkan Fest TURs, because he just has unconditional guaranteed crits. Well, basically that's what Cooler is right now in this situation. It's like Dokkan Fest Super Vegeta. That's very unfortunate that he decided to super right away in slot 1, but we actually only didn't take that much damage. So yeah, 4.3 mil, right? And this is like similar attack stats to like what that Vegeta. I think that Vegeta puts up like maybe 4 to 5 mil attack stats, but he's so powerful because of the guaranteed crits. Well, that's Cooler right now. And Cooler's like 2.5, 3 years old. Like, it's not even funny how well this Cooler has aged. I talk about it all the time, but Strength Cooler is just like a ridiculous abomination of a unit. He was like definitely like one of the best units you could ever pull for your stones. Like, if you got him on launch, you did well to get him, because you've probably gotten so much use out of this guy, it's just not even funny. I use him so much. He's one of my most highly used units. Alright, so we've got our rotation set. So here we go, Dodoria and Zarbon. If we go here, no, we don't get anything else. Yeah, we're missing the very common links of Frieza's army and Frieza's minion. The types of units that have those links are like rares and SRs. Like, you're just not going to get those links, right? We got a fair amount of links with Dodoria here too. So, alright, defensively, 150k, that's solid. I'll take 150k. I mean, he's right up there with this Dodoria, who is a, you know, less than a year old summonable unit, right? And he's probably going to put up a better attack stat than them too, which is kind of crazy. I cannot express, guys, how excited I am for Dragon Ball Heroes this year. It is going to be so hype. I always end up liking the Heroes celebrations quite a bit. Yeah, 2.6. Dodoria and Zarbon looking actually pretty solid here. I don't know, this may be, yeah, 2.7 now in the additional. Now we've got 6 attacks, so we have gotten like the optimal. I think we have gotten 2 attacks every turn. Very, very nice. And then Dodoria here at 1.9. That's not bad. I mean, it kind of is considering he's summonable, but he'll easy at some point, and then they'll fix that. Yeah, so I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I'm thinking I like Dodoria and Zarbon more than that physical Goku. I know some people really like that Goku. I just recorded my video on him, and I wasn't like that blown away, to be honest. I don't like how, like, I think his kit is good for difficult events, right? It's good for difficult events. It's good in events where you're going to be low on health a lot. His healing could definitely come in clutch, but like, to get the numbers that Dodoria and Zarbon are doing, like, Goku's got to be like near death, and he has to have at least 3 turns to stack up, which I get it. Dodoria and Zarbon need to stack up too. But I feel like Dodoria and Zarbon, like, as a support unit, like, I'm not as dependent on their stats, right? The Goku, I mean, what is the Goku? He's got healing, but he doesn't support the team. So when are you really going to run him, right? Like, if you're going to run him, it's because he's going to be probably one of your rotation units. Unless you want him floating just on the random off chance that you hit that 30% threshold when he's, you know, his turn comes up and then he heals. But I mean, the Goku, you know, I think will look better defensively than Dodoria and Zarbon in his best situation. But once again, you've got to be in situations where you're low on health. I'm just not a fan of units where to see them at their best, you have to be low on health. I don't like that. I actually, in general, don't like units that their passives like fluctuate with your health. I just don't like that. I like my units to be consistent. So that's probably why I'm not that crazy about that physical Goku. But I see myself using Dodoria and Zarbon a bit more. Like, if I'm doing any type of space traveling warrior setup and I just want like a 3-key 30% support, and especially if I'm running freezes, like, I think they're definitely worth tossing on there, right? Alright, so let's see what we got here. So, slot 1, I think we're good type advantage. 160k defense, very solid. Dodoria will just attack there. And I think after this, guys, we're going to be fully built up. So we actually built up a 7 attacks fairly quickly, but we've just gotten like really lucky with the additional. So yeah, 2.7. Like, my physical Goku never got close to 2.7. I think he got up to like maybe 2.4, 2.5. And once again, that's when we're at like dangerously low levels of health after, you know, he's been on rotation 3 times already. I don't know. I guess Dodoria and Zarbon, though, you can have the same complaint. Like, it takes a while for them to build up. But like I said, I'm not thinking of them as a main rotation unit. I'm not expecting to see this 2.7 mil attack stat most of the times that I use them. I really just want them there in slot 3 as a solid support unit with solid defense and attack, and I feel like they've got that, right? I do feel like they've got that. They're good enough. They definitely could have been better, right? Like, definitely, like, the Tien and Roshi, I would say they're, like, the comparable unit, right, from the 6-year anniversary. They came out as a straight-up 40% attack and defense support, and they're just hands down better than Dodoria and Zarbon, right? So I'm not saying Dodoria and Zarbon are like the fantastic, like, best unit in the world here. I'm actually going to least just in case. I'm type disadvantage here. I want to try to make sure I pay attention on these showcases so I don't have to reset, right? But yeah, the Tien and Roshi are definitely better. The Dodoria and Zarbon, like, they're still not like fantastic. They could have done a lot better, but I think when I'm looking at the 3 free-to-play units that came out, right, the Dodoria and Zarbon, the physical Goku, and the Vegeta and Krillin, I've only tested the Goku and Dodoria and Zarbon, and right now, I'm thinking I like the Dodoria and Zarbon more. I see myself using them more, right? There are so many other Gokus in the game, too. Like, that guy's got a lot of competition. I mean, base form Goku isn't like... There aren't as many high-tier base form Goku options, but there's some decent ones out there. And there's so many other Gokus in various Super Saiyan forms that, you know, in the teams that he's on, it's like, unless you're like a newer or free-to-play player, I don't see myself using that physical Goku very much, right? Now, I'm excited to test out the Vegeta and Krillin. I'm going to throw in a little complaint about something about them in a second. Alright, so about 190k defense, so almost 200k defense. I believe we're fully built here, so I'm just going to attack through and see what happens. I'm going to not use an item here. Well, we should still have Whis from last time, right? Okay, and we're going to get a Dokkan attack with him. So, okay, let's see what this does here. I think this is with Whis, though. I think we used one last turn. Okay, 80k. That's fine. Alright, what are we going to get on the Dokkan attack here? Okay, so we are at 3.2. Wow. Yeah, like, over 3 mil? Like, that's really solid for these guys. Yes, I know they have to build up to that, and it takes a while, and you have to have a Frieza. But if you're wanting to use them as a main attack rotation unit, you kind of would build the team around them. Now, I don't think they're the type of unit you should build a team around. But like I said, if you're a newer player and you don't have a lot of units, like, go for it, you know? And maybe you've got some setups that you like and you just really like them and they're like some of your favorite characters, go for it. Like I said, the way I see them being the most useful is I'm going to run them if I'm running a Planet Namek or Sworn Enemies or Terrifying Conquerors, some kind of setup like that. Where I'm running a lot of Friezas on rotation, I'm going to run them as a floating support, and then they will get their Frieza buff in there, and they're going to be supporting my Friezas, and I'm not depending on them for main damage. So, to me, I think that's the best way Dodoria and Zarbon should be used at this time, and I think I definitely will use them that way. Alright, so let's go ahead and attack here. So my complaint that I was just going to talk about before that, it isn't about the Vegeta and Krillin themselves, but I'm trying to set up to do the showcase, right? And I'm going to record that after this, hopefully. The issue I'm having is, in order to get the best linking partners and situations I want, I need to run them on Dragon Ball Seekers with Goku, Trunks, and Pan. Cannot find a Goku, Trunks, and Pan leader. So once again, I'll say it again, Dokkan, we need to fix the friend system. You gotta do something. And I've said this before, as more units get released, more good leaders come out. It's even getting hard to find like good leaders. Like before this event that we're doing right now, and by the way, I almost died there, but I think I'm gonna be okay. Before this event, like strength coolers were actually getting hard to find, but now strength cooler is like needed for one of the easy A's, so now it's like really easy to find them right now. But in normal situations, like people aren't running him right now, and even though he's a really good leader, right? So they got to do something, and what I would want to do is I would just want them to make it so that it'll just mirror your leader. Like you just get a guest leader at the top if like there aren't friends that are running that leader. That's all they need to do. And I don't care if they make them like 55%, like they could be SA1, I don't care. I just want to be able to run teams, man. Like I don't care. I could still be encouraged to run the friend units because the friend units could be rainbowed or whatever, right? They can just make it like a weaker version. So that's what I think. So yeah, as soon as I get a Dragon Ball Seekers lead from one of my friends, I hit up my Discord, hopefully someone will set one for me, then I'm going to get that video out right away. Okay, so 187k defense. We are just going to go all out on items here so I don't die. So we'll do Princess Snake, and I don't know. We'll do a, yeah, we'll do a Whis too. I could have just Ghost Ushered, but we'll just do it this way. This should be fine. Alright, so defensively, 187k defense. He's staying pretty consistent, so we definitely know we've reached his max. He would definitely get crushed here because he's type disadvantaged. So once again, I don't recommend using this as a main rotation unit, but we'll go ahead and see what the attack stat's looking like. We'll see if 3.2 is kind of our number. Now, our supports are fluctuating a little bit, right? So yeah, 3.1. So now he's like, so when you look at Dodoria and Zarbon, if you build them in like this situation here, he's going to be sitting just over 3 mil if you get him fully built up. I think in the situations that I would use him, where I'm running him as a floating support on a Frieza team, he's probably going to be like around 1.2, 1.3, 1.5. Those are the type of attack stats I would imagine from him, because he's not going to be linked very well, and he's not going to get a lot of turns to stack. So I'm going to envision him as a unit. I would think of him as a unit that's going to consistently hit under 2 mil, even though, as we can see here, he's capable of getting over 3 mil. That's not really how you're going to run him usually, right? So we're doing kind of that showcase situation here. All right, we'll try to get one more turn with him. I don't know if I'll go ahead and finish this off, but we'll do one more turn and get him with a different support and see how he does. And we're going to let Strength Cooler show off. Let's see how many health bars Strength Cooler can take off here, providing that Goku doesn't dodge. Let's see what happens here. I mean, if Strength Cooler does enough damage, I might take this thing to the end. We'll see here. All right. Oh, look at that. 6.4. Dude, I'm telling you, guaranteed crit, guaranteed additional. Like, this cooler is still ridiculous. Like, anytime I transform this guy, he, like, wants to steal the show. That's about it. And that could have been a triple super attack, by the way. That Goku would have been obliterated had we triple supered there. And this guy won't hit nearly as hard because he doesn't have guaranteed crits. And Goku's deciding to dodge anyway, so. And look at this Frieza at 500k. Actually, he could get crushed here on normals. Let's see what this Frieza does on normals here. I do still have Whis active from the last turn, but... Okay, so not even taking double digits with the Whis on normals. That tells you where that guy's at defensively. He hasn't even Dokkan awakened yet, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to make this our last turn because we do have our best support with him now, so should be his best attack stat. We'll just Ghost Duster to make sure we don't get killed here. Because had we got supered in slot 1, we could have been one shot there. And defense should be 180, 170, yeah, kind of in that range. Okay. So yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking of Dodoria and Zarbon. I actually like them more than the Goku. I don't know where I rate the Vegeta and Krillin yet. I still have to do their video. They're the ones I'm most excited to try out, though. I think they're kind of a cool unit. I think trying to link them is going to be kind of interesting because Krillin and Vegeta have very different links. The way they're set up, though, where you can exchange the Vegeta after 4 dodges from Krillin, I'm thinking that I would just run like a support, or I would run a link partner for the Vegeta and just bank on that. That's probably the way I'd run that unit. We'll see, though. Alright, so there you go, guys. That's the Dodoria and Zarbon. Once again, at their peak, they're getting near the 3.5 mil range there. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.